They use the word resources. We don't have enough resources. I try to be polite. There are so many things you can do in an ordinary classroom with paper, pencils, computers, with anything that you have. I've been into the favelas in Brazil. They have nothing. You know, in the slums up on the mountains above Rio. But they have classes for gifted children. They have special things in which they will allow the children extra paper, for instance, or a pair of scissors to cut things out. The school will be washed away twice a year with the heavy rains, and they must start again and again. But they do it for almost no money at all. So, improve provision. Give opportunity. It's really essential. And at the bottom right there, I put changing minds. If we can get over this business that there are no gifted children, there's no reason to give gifted children anything. People say to me, they are like cream which rises to the top of the milk naturally. Oh, they hell, they don't rise to the top of the pile. They need help to get there. And in the end, this very brief summary, I'm looking for a kind of consensus, that we all have networks. I'm coming to you not only from a European network point of view, but from all my world travels, which I pick up things all the time. There's a kind of consensus which is growing. And I think the consensus is something to do with not separating the gifted out from the other children, but teaching them within their own age group so that they can be happier, be given respect, be enabled to work hard, particularly if they're in bad home conditions, and do the best that they can do. That's a kind of consensus, to use what comes from the East and what comes from the West, overlap, integrate, but recognize that these two schools of thought do exist. And the next big one is legislation. The very best thing to happen is that it comes from the top, from the government, who will say, I will allot so much money to this and so much money to that. Being given money really makes people feel good, and that they can do things. It's not only one's own country government, but certainly in Europe, we can tap into money from the European Council, from other networks, working inside networks for high ability, networks for improving schools, all sorts of networks. The difficulty is knowing which network to approach, but at the same time, the money is there. Some money is there. And if you have no money, there are, I can't go into it now, but there are many, many ways of helping gifted children which do not cost what some of those courses like CTY cost. We don't need that. And the other thing is, of those particular things like summer schools, we really don't know how effective they are. And we don't know how effective pull-out classes are. We don't know how effective other forms are, because the research which follows them through, first of all, doesn't go long enough. Secondly, there are no control groups. You don't know what you've got from what you've done. You don't know if what you've done is just because the children have had extra attention, for example, which is also pushes marks up enormously. More research, please. Always the call. Get your governments to do something. Do what you can with as little as you've got. And the result has got to be positive. Thank you.